Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the book Refuge and welcome to another Outlander video, which you clicked on the title. But this one is in collaboration with my friend Tiffany, who is Neverland Pixie on Instagram, but is now Tiff Talks Pages. She recently got her channel up and going, and one of the many great loves that we have together is actually Outlander. And Tiffany is working her way through the books, but she is currently caught up with like book 6, which is what season 6 is going to be based on. And I thought it would be fun if for this collab video we each said 6 scenes that we want to see in season 6. So there you go. Say that a bunch of times fast and hiss like a snake. And I want to like put the book behind me, but of course A Breath of Snow and Ashes is the shiny one, and so I had it behind me and it wasn't great. So you'll know what I'm talking about. So let's dive into this. I am determined to make this video quicker than the last one is, and I think that I can, because I don't want to spoil things for the I don't want to spoil things on a super deep level for this one. So I'm going to like kind of keep it vague-ish about what I mean, so that hopefully this video, for people who, if you haven't read the books but you're wondering what scenes someone who loves the book is looking for, then it'll maybe be enough so that the scene stands out to you when you watch the show, but not enough to like spoil everything. I don't know. So we're going to call this like low-level spoils, because one of the ones I'm going to mention definitely is going to spoil the scenario, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because it's my favorite scene. So there's that. Also, there are 2 of my favorite scenes from the book that have already happened in season 5, because when they did season 5, they did pull some storylines from A Breath of Snow and Ashes into that one, and that is the scenes around Claire's assault and when she's back with Jamie, which we may still get some of those scenes because there is still going to be aftermath of what happened to her. And then when Brianna gets her revenge slash she like forgives and kills Stephen Bonnet, that happens at the end of Breath of Snow and Ashes, and they already did that. They wrapped that up early. So let's go through. I don't really have these ones in specific order because, like I said, 2 of my favorites have already been done. But let's go through this. So one scene that I cannot wait to happen, because it has a lot of levity to it, which isn't something we always get in Outlander, and that is Roger's first message. So Roger decides to become a Presbyterian minister. This is something he's really feel called to do, and follow in the steps of his father. And this, of course, like a lot of the Scottish people are Catholics, and it is like outlawed kind of to be Catholic where they are, but obviously out on the ridge where Jamie's community is kind of on their own, they do kind of practice on their own. But Roger really feels called to be a minister, and Jamie, at least in the books, this isn't completely how like the show feels about it, he believes that people need something to believe in just as much as they need food to eat, and just as much as they need a cause to fight for. And so though he himself is Catholic and not Presbyterian, he is supportive of his son-in-law having a purpose, because he believes that will help him be a good husband and stuff. But anyway, that's the book version of it. So eventually we have a meeting house built. This meeting house is actually going to be used for all the different services or events that they want to have. But Roger finally gets to have his first sermon. And, also it's still like his voice still gets sore after a while, because he did have, that horrible incident where, he was hanged previously. But he just feels called to do this. So everybody goes to it. Even Jamie goes, even though he doesn't really care to listen to the service. And we have, the children are there, and just everybody has kind of crowded into this. And there's a snake that sneaks in. And Jamie doesn't want to ruin Roger's first message. And also Jamie's terrified of snakes. It's a snake is the reason he almost lost his leg. He is not in favor of them. And the snake actually starts to make his way up Jamie's pants or under his pants. I don't know what he's wearing that day. And he literally keeps it calm to keep the message going. And I'm pretty sure we're getting this because there are some pictures like in the meeting house of people sitting kind of at pews, so I feel pretty confident we will get this scene. But it is one of the lighter moments in the book, and it is hilarious. Like, it's so funny. I love it so much. Another one that I don't know if this will happen because the show, I think, has kind of maybe let this storyline go, but who knows. There is a pretty big betrayal that happens near the end of A Breath of Snow and Ashes that actually causes a pretty like horrible situation to come to fruition. Partly why I don't know if it will happen is because this character who does the betrayal, like, they do exist, but a lot of this person's job has been given more to Marcelly, to give Marcelly more screen time in the show, which I'm totally fine with, by the way. I love that she actually has gotten more to do because she's fantastic. But the French gold like comes back into play, which is something that if you're a book reader, and I mean, it happens in the show too, like it pops up at different points and causes problems for people. And I want the gold to show back up again because it is a plot point that shows up pretty much in every book throughout the years. There is drama with the gold that happens, and it leads to a lot of different scenarios. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing that happen. And also there is the fire. The reason why Bree and Roger end up in the past to begin with is to warn about a specific fire that is supposed to happen. And there's just like a lot of drama involved around that. So I'm very interested to see if that betrayal by that certain people, those certain people and the French gold, if that comes back into play. Number 3 that I want to see in season 6 is actually when Roger baptizes Henry Christian. So there is a character who is born. There's a baby that gets born. And he is teased and picked on and abused by the children on the ridge. And this child has a certain disability / handicap, whichever we would call it. And he is called like a child of the devil by people there and mistreated. And at one point in the book, Roger comes across these kids being so cruel to this little boy, and he beats them, and he takes this little boy and he baptizes him in the river, and he says, "I've claimed this little boy, and God does too, you wee little bastards." And I also believe we're going to get this scene because I've seen clips of Roger in the river, so I hope we're getting this scene because it is so powerful, it's so beautiful, and it is another like solidifying moment between like Roger and the family there. I really think it could be important to maybe fixing some of the rifts that have been created by the show having Roger be the way he is, which I'm not a huge fan of, we all know that. But it is a beautiful moment where Roger gets to be like a hero and it chokes me up every time and it makes me so happy. Number 4, and this is more of a storyline than like one single scene, but there is a polyamorous relationship that exists that starts in book 6 of the series. And it's not very flashy. It's not like this is overly sexualized, but it is a new scenario that Jamie Fraser has never come across before. And that leads to quite a few bits of humor. This scenario involves a set of twins. And if you've seen season 5, you might know who the set of twins are. And these twins both love the same woman. And in book 6, nobody can really like catch them because only one of them is ever seen at a time, and they just pretend to be each other. So a lot of people know that it's 2 husbands, 1 wife in this scenario, and that all of their children are just raised together. But the people who know, like, they know. They just can't do anything about it because literally the men, like, take turns with who is home. And I thought it was a very interesting relationship for Diana to put into a series. And I would, like, stars for how much they love the salaciousness. Like, that is a perfect relationship to put into this series. It would be very interesting. Number 5, I would love to actually see quite a few scenes between Claire and Tom Christie. Tom Christie, the Christies are characters who we are going to meet this season. We know this for sure. They are cast, and I'm pretty sure that Tom Christie will have plenty of scenes. They're very much have been played up in some of the marketing. But though there are some very dramatic, and again, salacious is the word of this one, scenes that we see with the younger characters of the Christie family, Tom is a very interesting character who, he does not like Jamie, but they were both in Ardsmuir together, and a lot of the men who live on the ridge are people who are in Ardsmuir, who Jamie sent word to and said, you have a home here with me if you'd like it. But he never thought Tom Christie would show up. Tom very much believes in witchcraft and believes it's evil. And he has some legitimate reasons to think that. For all honesty, he definitely does. And he definitely thinks Claire's a witch. He does. However, this is not the same scenario that we've run into before with Claire, with people thinking Claire's a witch. And he's not like demanding she be burned at the stake or anything like that. But he does want to keep his daughter away from Claire and her medicines. And we definitely think of Tom Christie in one way for a very long part of this book, but specifically sometimes when we see some depth to him and that he's more than just this like overly religious man who's like, oh, demons, stay away from me. And there's a scenario where Tom actually needs Claire to heal him, and those are the scenes that I would like to see. Like, he has an injury that Claire works on healing for him. And then there's also a scene where there is a sickness that goes through the ridge, and both Claire and Tom get very sick, and there are some scenarios where they talk to each other for that. So that was a roundabout thing, but I'm very interested to see the character of Tom Christie. He's a character that, upon rereads with him, I find more and more fascinating. That you will be very sure that, oh, this guy is an asshole, this guy is a villain of some sort, this is how I feel about him. And then we'll see him in another light where we're like, but is he a villain? I don't know. Like, he's very layered, and his feelings for Claire are very complex, you know, and definitely his family dynamic is pretty fucked up. So there's that. And then the last scene that I would love to see, and this one's very simple to say, there is a scene in A Breath of Snow and Ashes where Brianna gets to meet her younger brother, William. She's not able to tell him that she is his older sister, but she gets to come face to face with William and meet him. And it's one of my favorite moments in the series. I love whenever family members get to meet. We definitely know that William has been cast. We've seen him in pictures, so I would love to have him show up at some place as well. So there we go. Those are 6 scenes / kind of plot lines that I would like to see in season 6. I don't know how many we will. If for some reason you don't know this at this point, there are only 8 episodes in season 6 because Katrina Balfe had a baby. And so they were only able to film for a certain amount of time. Definitely will also be on bump watch while we watch this, see if any bump sneaks in at all. But season 7 will have 16 episodes, which kind of makes up, you know, hopefully will make up for missing some with this one. They just had to kind of shuffle them around. My actual, like, I really honestly do hope, though, that they don't try to fit the entire book 6 into season 6, since we are going to have more episodes. Like, I'm not one who believes we need to be like fitting a book into a season. Like, it's okay if you stretch this out. Like, it's okay if you do that. And I'm hoping that they will, because there is a lot of plot lines to choose from and a lot of great things. And who knows how many more years before Diana has the next one. So it's not like we need to rush through, right? I mean, Jamie and Claire, they only grow more into their roles. You know, this isn't a case that they're ever really going to age out of Jamie and Claire, because they're already playing 15, 20 years older than what they really are. So it works. But anyway, thank you so much. Make sure you check out my friend Tiff's video. I'll make sure to have it linked down below. Definitely check out her channel. She talks about books in some amazing ways. I'm very inspired by her, and I'm so happy that she now has videos to share with the world. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel. My very first recap will be out on Monday. If you are a channel member, you'll get early access to that, so maybe check out my channel memberships, but definitely come back again for more Outlander content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.